A very good morning to the students of class 7. Welcome to our social science geography class. And today in this geography class we are going to discuss the another subunit from your geography chapter number 1, that is environment. And our today's topic is the natural environment. It is in page number 3 of your geography book. So before starting the class, all the students are requested to mention their name in the chat box. I will take your attendance from that portion. Okay, so let's begin our today's class. So in previous class you have read about the different divisions of the environment. What are the different type of environment exist? These are the natural environment, that is the human environment, and human made environment. Now today we are going to discuss in detail about the first one, that is the natural environment. That what are the major components of the natural environment? You have to know first that the natural environment comprises the land, water, air, plants and animals. And you are familiar with all this, and you are also familiar with the major domains in the natural environment. These are lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere and biosphere. So now we will discuss in detail about the different domains, the four major domains of the natural environment, one by one. First, it is the lithosphere. So you have to know what is the lithosphere. That lithosphere is the domain that provides us forests, grasslands for grazing, land for agriculture and human settlement, and it is also the source of mineral such as gold, silver, iron, the petroleum, the crude oil, the coal, aluminium, etc. So lithosphere is the solid crust of the land, crust of the hard top layer of the earth, and it is made up of the rocks and minerals and covered by a thin layer of soil. So it is an inferior surface with various landforms such as mountains, plateaus, plains, river valleys, etc. And landforms are found over the continents as well as on the ocean floors, means in the bottom of the oceans, also the part of lithosphere. So I am drawing a picture. So it is our earth, but our earth is not in everywhere in a round shape. From the space it looks round, but there are some oceans, mountains, the plateaus, some plains, okay, etc. In river valleys, in the different portions of the earth. So it is not plain. Some portion is very rugged and some portions are plain, some portions are very high, and some portions are moderate high. So in this way the bottom of the oceans, the ocean floors, these are also the part of the lithosphere, as well as the mountains, the plateaus, plains, river valleys, including the trees, these are also situated on the lithosphere. The soil also a part of lithosphere. So the thin uppermost layer of the earth, it is called lithosphere, and everything present and we can see around us, such as the grasslands, the forest, the mountains, the plateaus, the plains, the river valleys, as well as the cities and towns, everything situated in the top of the lithosphere. The buildings in this way, everything situated in the top of lithosphere. So I think you have understood the lithosphere. Rugged. Rugged means not plain. Okay. Irregular means irregular surface. Okay. So now we will discuss about the hydrosphere. So what is hydrosphere? That the domain of water is referred to as hydrosphere, and it comprises various sources of water and different types of water bodies like rivers, lakes, seas, oceans, etc. The part of hydrosphere, and it is essential for all living organisms, because water is very necessary for all the living organisms. Not only the water bodies, the water stored as a iceberg or in the block of the ice in North and South Pole, as well as all the glaciers all over the world made with ice. So this is also the part of lithosphere, including the water vapor or the clouds created by the water vapor. These are also the part of hydrosphere. Okay. So I am writing, so the lakes, the seas, the ponds, the oceans, including underground water, the glaciers, okay, so the ice blocks as well as the water vapor, all these are the part of hydrosphere. No students, no need to write all this, because already these things are mentioned in your book, page number 3. So do one thing with a pencil, underline these important points I am mentioning here. Okay, so later when you will read the book, you revise the chapter, you can easily understand all this. So take a pencil and underline the important points like these one. What is hydrosphere? What are the different components of these domains, or this hydrosphere, atmosphere, lithosphere and biosphere? Just underline those things. Now we will discuss atmosphere. What is atmosphere? That atmosphere is the thin layer of air that surrounds the earth. If I draw, this is our earth, and the thin layer of earth, you will read in the next chapters that how these thin layers actually covered our earth. They also divided into many different layers. As per the scientist, they divided it into many layers as per the components present on different layers. So what are the necessity of atmosphere? That atmosphere, it protects us from the harmful rays and scorching heat of the sun. What kind of harmful rays? Such as gamma ray, ultraviolet ray, etc., and some other cosmic rays. And these rays are very harmful for our body and can create cancer and other deadly diseases. And it would not be possible if the atmosphere is not present in the earth, and it is not possible for the existence of life. So this atmosphere hold the gravitational force of the earth, that that the gravity, that everything that present on the surface stick to the surface for this gravity. So in the similar way, the atmosphere also holds, this atmosphere also stuck with the earth for this gravitational force. Now, what are the components of the atmosphere you have to know. That different gases such as oxygen, O2, the N2, nitrogen, the CO2, and other gases, latent gases such as argon, neon. Okay, so all this actually the part of the atmosphere, and as well as some water vapor and small dust particle. So these are also the part of atmosphere. So I think you have understood this one. And the changes of the atmosphere also produced changes in the weather and climate, and changes of the atmosphere and climate also made some changes in the weather and climate. So now the last one I am discussing. The last one, it is the biosphere. What is biosphere? That all the plant and animal kingdom, the plant and animal and all the microorganisms living together in the earth, it is called the biosphere, and it is a narrow zone of the earth where land, water and air interact with each other to support the life. Okay, microbes in short. So all these are part of biosphere. So I think you have understood the different domains of the earth. Now we will discuss the another important thing, that is the ecosystem. What is ecosystem? So I am rubbing the board. That ecosystem, it is a system formed by the interaction of all the living organism with each other and with the physical and chemical factors of the environment, in which they live, all linked with each other and linked by transfer of energy and material. And all the animals, plants and other organisms living on an ecosystem, they interact with each other, interact with the air, water and land, and for the support of their life. And in this way they are living with the interaction with each other and also with the interaction with the natural environment. So there is a small story present in your book describing the ecosystem. I will tell you the story next day, that an NCC camp the Ravi's class was attending, and Jesse exclaimed, "What a heavy downpour, and it reminds me of my home in Kerala. And you should come and see how it pours and pours the pores over the lush green fields and coconut plantations." So Hira from Jaisalmer, a boy, exclaimed, "We get no rains. We can see only kicker and sand as far as eyes can see." So it is very normal that the boy from Jaisalmer, situated in the third desert, it is very difficult for him to see all this, the waterfalls and the rainforest that is present in Kerala. So, but you also find camels. He said, the boy Hira from Jaisalmer exclaimed that the camels, also you can see the camels and the thorny bushes in our place in Jaisalmer. Hira says, not just camels, if you visit our deserts, you will see snakes, lizards and many insects too. These are very common in desert region. Then Ravi wondered that why do the animals, the vegetation and the way people live vary from place to place? Are they all related to each other? Oh yes, very much so, the teacher replied. So in this way we can see that all the plants, animals, human beings depend on the immediate surrounding, such as the surrounding of the desert, otherwise the surrounding of a rainforest. And often they are also interdependent on each other, and this relation between the living organisms as well as the relation between the organisms and other surroundings form an ecosystem. And there could be an ecosystem of large rainforests, ecosystem of a grassland, ecosystem of a desert or mountain, lake, river, ocean, even in a small pond. Now I am drawing an ecosystem of a small pond. Suppose this is a small pond and this is the surface of the small pond, and these are waters. This is, and some animals also there, such as fish. The fish is also there. Some big fish is also there. And some plants such as lotus, water lily, etc. So these animals actually living here, and what are the food? Their food is some tiny animals. These are called zooplankton, and they are also consuming some small plants called phytoplanktons. Okay, and these fishes, they eat all these, and the big fishes, they also depend on these small fishes, and the human being or some other animals they catch all these fishes. Okay, so in this way the energy transform from the phytoplankton, from zooplankton, small fish, big fish, to human being, and also these trees, plants, when these animals died, their dead bodies or bodily remains also decomposed onto the bottom of the pond, and in this way the energy they restored in their body from this phytoplankton, zooplankton through small pieces, they also mixed in the surface, and this type of plants also collect these nutrients and minerals, and they flourished and they living on the water. In this way they also collect sunlight, and with the help of these nutrients, and they produce food through photosynthesis. Yes, Tori, very good. So in this way each and everyone in this pond, they interact with the air, that is the atmosphere, the water, hydrosphere, the soil situated in the bottom of the pond, it is the part of lithosphere. So in this way the natural components they interacted with the animals and plants and keep alive this ecosystem. So this is a ecosystem of the pond. Okay, so human beings are not part of ecosystem of pond, but in this way you can see that how human beings also collect that energy. So this is a ecosystem of a pond. So you have understood in clearly how all this, and different animals also lived inside the water, such as some amphibians, they live in the pond, such as the frog, the snakes also living in the they lived in this pond. So they also collected the nutrients in this way in a chain system, in a chain reaction from the natural environment through this. They also made food from with the use of the natural component, and in this way through zooplankton, small fish, big fish, and human beings through this and also these plants. Okay students, so I hope you have understood. If you have any question regarding this, you can ask me. Okay, so the last one before ending the class, the one important fact you have to know, that on 5th June every year, all over the world, the people celebrate the World Environment Day. So 5th June in every year, all over the world, World Environment Day is celebrated. Remember this fact. And the environment, this is an exchange in this environment, is like a barter system, like it is a trade in which goods and exchange without the use of money. So you will read in next class in detail. So thank you for watching. See you in the next class.